Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our MISAT Bulletin, and we shall start with our headlines. Egypt accuses Muslim Brotherhood of involvement in church bombing. Donald Trump picks Rex Tillerson to lead State Department. And moving on to our details, starting with Egypt's deadly attack. Egypt's Ministry of Interior has accused the Muslim Brotherhood organization's Qatar branch of involvement in Sunday's bombing of St. Peter and St. Paul Church inside the Coptic Cathedral complex in Cairo, which killed 24 and injured 49. The Interior Ministry said on Monday evening it has identified members of the terrorist cell involved in the bombing and traced their leadership to a branch of Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood group residing in Qatar. It also said that advanced investigation procedures led to the identification of fugitive Mohab Mustafa Al-Sayed Qasim, whose militant code name is Doctor, as the lead man in the terrorist cell. Additionally, Egypt's Minister of Interior said police raided the terrorist cell's hideout in Cairo's Zaytun district on Monday and arrested 4 members, including a woman, for their involvement in Sunday's bombing of St. Peter and St. Paul Church inside a Coptic cathedral complex in Cairo. The arrested men were identified as Rami Muhammad Abdel Ghani, Muhammad Hamdi Abdel Ghani, and Muhsin Al-Sayed Qasim, who is the brother of the cell's leader. The woman was identified as Ola Hussein Ali, the wife of the accused Rami Muhammad Abdel Ghani. The accused are believed to have aided the bomber, who was identified by authorities earlier on Monday as Mahmoud Shafiq Mustafa. In Turkey, counterterrorism police continue to detain members of a pro-Kurdish political party in the wake of deadly suicide bombings. Turkish state-run Anadolu Agency is reporting that 2 lawmakers of the People's Democratic Party have been taken into custody in the capital, Ankara. It added that they were taken into custody within the scope of 2 separate terror-related investigations in the southeastern cities of Batman and Diyarbakir. It's worth mentioning that widespread detentions of HDP officials by the Turkish security forces have taken place following a Saturday bombing near an Istanbul soccer stadium claimed by Kurdish militant group TAK and killed at least 44 people and wounded 149. In Kabul, at least 2 Afghan police officers killed when a roadside bomb detonated near their patrol in eastern Kunar province. Spokesman for the provincial governor in Kunar said on Tuesday that the explosion killed the unit commander of the border police and his bodyguard. He added that the attack took place in Dangam district late on Monday night when the police unit was on a foot patrol, and no one claimed responsibility for the attack. On the other side of the world, President-elect Donald Trump announced on Tuesday he has picked ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson to be Secretary of State. Trump, in a pre-dawn news release from Trump Tower in New York, said that Rex Tillerson is among the most accomplished business leaders and international deal makers in the world. He also said Tillerson knows how to manage a global enterprise, which is crucial to running a successful State Department. In an accompanying statement, Tillerson said he was honored by his selection and shares Trump's vision for restoring the credibility of the United States' foreign relations and advancing our country's national security. On another front, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he is prepared to meet President-elect Donald Trump at any time. When asked by journalists about the possibility of arranging a meeting with Trump, Putin said, "We are ready at any moment. There are no problems from our side," according to an interview released by the Kremlin on Tuesday. He added that it's widely known that the elected President of the United States has publicly called for the normalization of the Russian-American relationship. We cannot but support this. However, Putin said that a meeting between the 2 leaders was more likely after Trump's January inauguration. Meanwhile, the leaders of Germany and France say European Union sanctions against Russia over its actions in Ukraine will need to be extended. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said on Tuesday that the implementation of last year's Minsk peace accord in eastern Ukraine is very sluggish. She added it will be necessary to extend the sanctions against Russia once again. Moreover, French President François Hollande said he also favors extending the sanctions which were placed against Russia for backing separatists in eastern Ukraine. From another aspect, the EU's 28 leaders are holding a summit on Thursday in Brussels. Meanwhile, Premier Paolo Gentiloni urged Parliament on Tuesday to back his new government as it negotiates Italy's international commitments, a banking crisis, and electoral reforms following the resignation of his predecessor, Matteo Renzi. Gentiloni outlined his government's priorities in the lower chamber of deputies ahead of a confidence vote on Tuesday, listing economic growth in Italy's underdeveloped south and rebuilding in Italy's earthquake-devastated towns as top items. Moreover, Gentiloni defended Renzi's term and insisted that his Democratic Party would last as long as it had Parliament's confidence, but he acknowledged the difficulties ahead. On to Tel Aviv, Israel says none of its officials will meet with the Swedish foreign minister during a visit this week. Foreign Ministry spokesman cited a scheduling issue for the decision not to meet with Swedish Foreign Minister Margot Wallström. The move comes at a time of icy relations between Israel and Stockholm, which have been strained since the Social Democratic-led government recognized Palestinian statehood in 2014. In addition, comments by Wallström on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict have elicited angry responses from Israeli officials. From another perspective, Wallström arrives on Thursday and is expected to meet Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. On to natural crises, the number of people displaced by last week's earthquake in Indonesia's Aceh province has jumped to more than 85,000 as aftershocks drive people from their homes. Spokesman for the disaster agency said on Tuesday there have been nearly 90 aftershocks since last Wednesday's magnitude 6.5 earthquake. He also said providing clean water is still a top priority because many wells were damaged by the quake and their water is now undrinkable. From another perspective, the earthquake killed 102 people and injured nearly 900 others. It destroyed or damaged more than 11,000 buildings, mainly homes, but also schools and dozens of mosques. And finally, economic news. The International Energy Agency says OPEC oil production climbed to a record high last month. OPEC countries pumped 34.2 million barrels a day in November, according to what the IS said in its monthly report on Tuesday. That was up 300,000 barrels a day from a month earlier and more than offset a drop in production by non-OPEC countries. The IA also said the next few weeks will be crucial in determining if the production cuts are being implemented and whether the recent increase in oil prices will last. From another aspect, oil prices rallied after OPEC and non-OPEC countries jointly decided last weekend to cut production. And before ending our news, let's take another look at the most important headlines for today. Egypt accuses Muslim Brotherhood of involvement in church bombing. Donald Trump picks Rex Tillerson to lead State Department. And we reach the end of our Misad Bulletin for today. Thank you for joining us and see you tomorrow in a new bulletin. Wish you a nice evening.